And we are live. Welcome back to Takes by Fans. We have a great show for you today. As always, we are live every single day at noon Eastern. Now, if you want to watch live, head over to twitch.tv/takesbyfans. If you want to watch but not live, head over to our YouTube channel. We post our episodes and clips of our shows there on a daily basis. And if you just want to listen, we're on podcasting apps as well. Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, folks. However you want to watch or listen, we've got you covered multiple ways. Just know the show is called Takes by Fans, and we're live every day at noon, folks. Alrighty, today is a big old Monday coming off of a big old Sunday. I mean, those games were pretty good. We got, Packers, Titans. Titans didn't perform as well as I thought they would, so that was a little disappointing. The Colts, they screw me, folks. This is why I tell y'all, take the Colts slowly. That's why we just put them in our power rankings, and we were moving them very, very slow because we just saw Phillip Rivers in the second half throw careless interception, folks. We'll bring it up. We'll cover it in the game, but this is what I've been saying all along. In the 1 week that we finally put faith in the Colts, they lose. This is classic Phillip Rivers. This is what we've been talking about all season, and it's finally come true. So we're going to be breaking down all the other NFL games today. We'll do quickly some basketball, and then at the end of the show, we are going to do our kind of MVP candidate. Who do we think should be the MVP? Because we just woke up today, and everybody's already ready to give it to Aaron Rodgers. And I'm like, all right, yeah, I guess, that you can make the arguments, and I've seen the arguments, and, I agree with some of them. But let's not, act like this is kind of a clear front runner. Aaron Rodgers is blowing everybody out of the competition, because we still got Patrick Mahomes, and I think people are forgetting that he's 14-1 and not 13-3. So, or 12-3. Can we all relax a second? This man is 14-1, and we're gonna make the case for Patrick Mahomes today. So we're gonna compare Aaron Rodgers or Patrick Mahomes. Those are kind of the two front runners right now. You may be able to put Derrick Henry in that conversation, but truthfully, folks, a running back is never probably gonna win MVP unless they break the rushing record, which nobody's probably gonna do that for a long, long time. So even Derrick Henry's gonna probably have trouble doing that. So it's gonna be unfortunate for Derrick Henry. You can make the case because he's having an unbelievable season, but we're just going to kind of focus on Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes between those two. So we'll kind of determine our MVP. We'll cover all the games, and yeah, get us ready for tonight's game. We got the moneymaker that we'll do today as well. All right, so without further ado, let's get into it. We got to start with some stories. Not a lot, but a couple. We got a couple here today. Alrighty, this was yesterday. This was right before the game. We didn't do this on the show yesterday during our kind of kickoff show, but we saw this that we know that Dwayne Haskins got stripped of his captain tag going into this week, and then we see Chase Young gets the captain tag, and he made a huge impact in this game. He was forcing fumbles, getting turnovers, while Dwayne Haskins was getting benched. I mean, there's just no more clear description. Dwayne Haskins is 100% done. He probably won't start for another NFL team, and if he does still continue to play in the league, it's going to be as a backup. Dwayne Haskins is 100% done, and well done by Chase Young, rookie, getting the captain tag. You really don't see that too much, but I mean, he's probably their best weapon. He's a great leader. That's why he has the captain tag. So very well done to Chase Young, and Dwayne Haskins 100% out of Washington. He will not be there next year unless he's the third string. He's third string now. He's third string because we got this story right here. Washington football team head coach Ron Rivera said that Taylor Heinicke will play Sunday if Alex Smith isn't ready to go. So Dwayne Haskins is not even a thought. And after his performance last week, after going to the strip club, after getting his captain tag removed and still not stepping up and still not being the leader and still turning the ball over and not winning that game yesterday was, the final straw really that we all needed to see that Dwayne Haskins will never be a good starter in this league. When your team is depending on you and you just got stripped of your captain tag and you still don't step up, what more do we need to have, Dwayne Haskins finally get that fire lit under him? So it's unfortunate. I think his benching at the start of the season was a little premature, but, now he had last week. You were benched for multiple weeks for Alex Smith, and, that his Dwayne Haskins' first game, he didn't step up, and then the second game, he gets stripped of the captain tag. He got caught with COVID or got caught out at a strip club with no mask on. And his team, there was quotes that were coming out going into this week that the Washington's players were like, "Hey, Dwayne, go and earn your captain tag back. Be that leader that we need y'all to be." And he still's not stepping up, folks. So Tyler Heineke will go this week if Alex Smith cannot. I'm assuming Alex Smith will be able to go. He was kind of 50-50 up in the air going into yesterday to play, their last game yesterday. So he probably should be able to go for this week's. And it's a huge game for Washington, win, and they're in the playoffs. So we'll see. But, I'm pretty sure Alex Smith is going to be playing this week. Alrighty, and holy moly, did Bill O'Brien ever ruin the Texans franchise, folks. The Dolphins, they made the trade with the Texans either last season or 2 seasons ago. They send Kenny Stills to the Texans. They send Laramie Tunsil to the Texans, and they get the Texans' first-round pick this year. And the Texans are the number 3 pick, and the Dolphins are also in the playoffs. So Dolphins get in the playoffs, and they get a top 3 draft pick. Protect Tua with an offensive lineman or get him, a weapon. Tua's going to be even better next year because we've got a high draft pick, and I think we've got another draft pick in the first round as well. So, Brian Flores, this Dolphins organization has absolutely robbed the Texans, folks. The Texans don't even have their number 1 pick, and they desperately need it. They're in a whole rebuild. They fired their coach. They're dwindling at wide receiver. Their defense, oh my goodness, not even that good. So, unfortunate for this Texans team, but very well done by the Dolphins. You can't get much better than this. Getting in the playoffs and getting a top 5 draft pick. What more could y'all want? Maybe a Super Bowl title. Maybe. And then we traded away Laramie Tunsil. This was one of the Texans' big acquisitions in that trade with the Dolphins for the first round pick, I should say. Laramie Tunsil, he got injured in last game and he was out for the rest of the game. That's why we got rid of him, because he's not reliable. He is very injured. Now, is he a good left tackle? Yeah, he's good. He's not, anything special, but he's always injured. So once again, Bill O'Brien making poor decisions. That's why he was fired. And, it's still biting the ghost of Bill O'Brien in that Texans organization. Not good there, folks. Not good at all. Alrighty, there was a little bit of NBA on last night, so we'll quickly cover these. We'll kind of look at the games today, see if we like anything in our moneymaker. So here we go. Mavericks Clippers. This was the big joke on Twitter. The Mavericks were up 50 points at halftime. They were up 77-27. Yes, the Clippers only put up 27 points in the first half. Kawhi Leonard was not playing, and Paul George by himself, he cannot make it work. As we see, they put up 73 points in this entire game, and the Mavericks absolutely blow them out, 124-73. All right, Nets get their first loss. Little surprising. I really thought that they had the opportunity to go the entire season undefeated, but they lose to the Hornets 104-106. Unfortunate. Kevin Durant went off with the points, 29, 3, and 4. Let's see what Kyrie Irving did. Did he have another good game? Because, Kyrie Irving, he says, he's still one of the best players on this league, on this team, I should say, and he still did very good, 25 points. That's what we like to see, and the shooting percentage, 58%. Not bad, not horrible. So, great job there by Kevin Durant, who did not perform well here. Spencer Dinwiddie, he is injured. I think he's going to be out for a long time, possibly for the rest of the season. I think he has kind of a partial tear in his ACL, something along those lines. So, look for him to be out for a couple of weeks. So we'll keep an eye on this Nets team. Unfortunate they get the loss there. All right, look at this Magic team, folks. 3 straight wins, and they just beat the Wizards. Once again, the Wizards flounder. They're 0-3. Let's kind of keep track right now. We're just kind of going quickly through this NBA kind of schedule until NFL's done, but let's keep tabs on Russell Westbrook. How many turnovers is he still having? Is he still having big turnovers? Let's see it here. Where is he? Russell Westbrook. Oh, did he even play? I'm not even seeing him on here. He must have not even played yesterday. Interesting. Doesn't say that he didn't play either. Huh. Alrighty. Well, Either way, Wizards lose. They lose. They're 0-3, not looking good. Who won the trade? Washington or the Houston Rockets? I mean, none of them have a win yet, so you can't really be too definitive. But still, Russell Westbrook not playing in Game 3, still turning the ball over, so still doing classic Russell Westbrook things. Not great. All right, Pelicans beat the Spurs 98-95. Well done. Brandon Ingram is carrying on where he left off in the bubble last year, folks. He was really the only good spot for the Pelicans last season, besides Zion playing, 3 games in the bubble. So very well done to Brandon Ingram. 28 huge points. Got some solid contribution from Zion Williamson. He didn't shoot well. He shot 31%. And Brandon Ingram really didn't shoot good either. He shot 39%. So, yeah, they got some good points, but the shooting percentage has to definitely be a little bit better. They still get the win, so very well done by them. But we got to see a little bit better shooting percentage, especially from Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson. You guys cannot be in 30% shooting, all right? All right, but Pelicans get the win 98-95. All right, Cavs get the win 118-94 against the 76ers. What is going on with the 76ers? Why are they losing against the Cavs? And why are the Cavs 3-0, folks? Holy cow. Let's see who's on this Cavs team. Who's making a splash on this Cavs team, and why are they 3-0? What do we got here? Kevin Love, the big old 4 points. Larry Nance Jr., 13. All right, now we got some big points here. Andre Drummond, big old 24 points by him. And then Colin Sexton, 22 points. I believe he's a rookie from last season, so his second year in the league, getting some nice burn here. 22 points on 53% shooting. We can definitely get behind that. All right, so nice young and upcoming kind of Cavs team, doing very good. Got a nice veteran presence with Kevin Love and Andre Drummond, making it easier for, Colin Sexton and Darius Garland to do some work. So I like to see it. All right. JaVale McGee on the bench, once again, not doing anything too big. We saw him on the Lakers last year, really wasn't a huge factor for their wins, but now he's on the Cavs, 7 points in 16 minutes. Classic JaVale McGee, I would say. Alrighty, what else we got here? Bucks losing against the Knicks. Oh my, this Bucks team is not good. Giannis, what did you do? I know you want to, be a Buck for life, and I get it, but folks, they're not even playing well. Giannis, 27, 13, and 5. Let's keep tabs on his free throw shooting, because remember the game tying missed free throw the first game. Here he's shooting, once again, 61% from the free throw line. Come on, 8 of 13, not going to get it done. Now, you still put up, 27 points and 13 rebounds, which is still good, but you lose the game. You left 5 points on the table, and you lose to the Knicks. Not good there. So Bucks, once again, they're 1-2. Not great. Not great at all. Alrighty, Pacers getting the 1-point win over the Celtics. I mean, Sabonis back for the Pacers, and they're 3-0. They were good in the kind of the bubble last year, but they didn't have Sabonis. He's back, and they're rolling here 3-0, so very well done to the Pacers getting the win. Warriors get their first win of the season, 1 point. I believe it was kind of a buzzer beater, so well done by them. But, I mean, Bulls, Warriors, they're going to be nothing. They probably won't make the playoffs, unfortunately. Just the Warriors. They need something besides Steph Curry. Now, they've got a good one in Weissman. He's going to be real good in this league, folks. Give him a season, give him 2 seasons, but he's definitely going to work out for the Warriors. So the Warriors get their first win, but, That's all really. All right, Suns getting back on the winning track. Like to see it. Give the Kings their first loss, 116-100. Devin Booker, 25-5. Let's see what Chris Paul did, because Chris Paul making an impact immediately on wherever he goes. It was the Thunder, now it's the Suns. He can make it work. He can click it out and off real quick. All right, Chris Paul, only 8 points. Oh, boy. He had 12 assists, though, so still being the floor general, just really letting Devin Booker be the majority scorer there. So, yeah, we can get behind that. Still, watch out for this Suns team. This is going to be a real good team, folks. They're definitely making the playoffs. I don't want to hear it, and they could make a run. Absolutely. And then the last game of the night, Lakers absolutely killing the Timberwolves, 127-91. And Anthony Davis didn't even play in the game. So very well done by them. Let's see who, because LeBron James only put up 18 points. So who else had some good contributions here for the Lakers? Let's applaud them. As we said, LeBron James only had 18. Kyle Kuzma with 20, and he shot 66% from the three. That's exactly what we want to see. Kyle Kuzma stepping up. Very well done. Yeah, the leading scorer. Yes, that's what we want to see, folks. Marc Gasol, very good contribution as well. 8 assists, 7 rebounds, 12 points. Stuffing the stat sheet. KCP 8 points. All right, played 23 minutes. He shot 100%. So I'll take that. Not shooting the ball too much. Maybe giving those shots to LeBron, giving those shots to Kuzma. Very well done. Dennis Schroeder 11 points. He shot 50%. So not bad there. Just kind of solid contribution. Look at all these bench points from the Lakers. Montrezl Harrell with 12 points. Very well done. Caruso with 7. Markieff Morris with 7, and Talen Horton-Tucker with 12. So very good contribution. And let's not forget Alfonso McKinney, 8 points. Off the bench, we can definitely get behind that. So great contribution from the bench there by the Lakers. Love to see it. Alrighty, let's quickly go into today's NBA games. Let's see if we like any lines for our moneymaker. Give y'all the opportunity to win some money here. All right, first game today, Memphis Grizzlies in the Brooklyn Nets. Nets minus 5.5. Not bad. They're just coming off of a loss. Maybe they play a little bit better. Not ready to swallow 5.5. Not ready to swallow 5.5 points yet for the Nets team, especially them just coming off of a loss against, who was it? Bad team. The Hornets, I believe. The Hornets, yeah. So I don't know about that 5.5. Not really buying into that quite yet. Pistons, Hawks. Pistons have really been disappointing me, and we're getting 10 points by them. Ooh, I like this, folks. I think this Pistons team is pretty decent. Now, they haven't won a game yet. They are 0-2, so I get that. But 10 points, this Hawks team is good. Trae Young's good. They are out to a 2-0 start. But I think the Pistons can definitely cover 10 points. They've been kind of competitive in both these games, losing kind of closely. I think the Pistons, their first loss, they lost by 10 points, I believe. And let me see if I can quickly get their second loss here. Their second loss, they lose by 9. So close. And I think we take the 10 there, folks. I think that's very solid. 10 points against this Pistons team. Still early in the season, so don't buy. Don't put too much stock in 2-0 teams, and don't put too much stock in 0-2 teams. So we're gonna take this Pistons plus 10 here. We'll take these 10 points. I like it. All right, then Jazz and Thunder. Jazz, this Thunder team is really depleted. They've really got nobody. They're building for the future. That's why they've got like 50 draft picks in the next 3 drafts. So not ready to buy into this Thunder team, even with 8.5 points. And I'm not swallowing 8.5 yet, just quite yet. Once again, we got to get like 10 games into the NBA season, so we can kind of see, all right, which teams are real good, which teams are carrying over from the bubble to here, which teams kind of overplayed in the bubble and now are kind of floundering this season, which team, or who's going to be the up and comer this season. So let's get kind of 10 solid games into it, then we can kind of start making some better bets, some kind of more accurate bets, because we've seen 10 games in. So not ready to swallow 8.5 here for the Jazz yet. They are still a good team, but they've kind of been a little iffy here to start the season. So not going to swallow the 8 there. Then we get Rockets, Nuggets. I'm not buying into this Rockets team. We don't even know if James Harden wants to be there or if he's going to get traded. So it's a whole mess there. I'm not going to trust them with 6.5 points. And then Lakers, Blazers. Okay, LeBron James is kind of probable today, so we probably should be playing. Anthony Davis, he didn't play yesterday. Is he going to play today? So a lot of question marks here about the Lakers team. I do like them minus 3.5 though, even without probably, LeBron James, if Anthony Davis plays, if one of those two plays, I do like the Lakers minus 3.5, so we'll take this as well. So our NBA moneymaker today is going to be Pistons plus the 10 and the Lakers minus the 3.5. Alrighty, and before we start talking about NFL or the NFL games from yesterday, let's quickly do our moneymaker here. It's Bills Patriots, and it's Bills minus 7.5. And do we take that? They're on the road against New England. New England would love to play spoilers against a division opponent. This Bills team can still clinch that number 2 seed in the AFC, so they're definitely going to be trying to do that. They kind of have to win out to do that. So a big game here for the Bills. Their offense is obviously better than the Patriots offense because the Patriots offense is not good. Now it's Bill Belichick against a division rival, against Josh Allen, who can kind of be pressured into making some bad decisions. So I do like the Bills, but this is kind of a close game, division game. Those are always kind of close. The Bills are on the road, end of the season. A lot of pressure on Josh Allen. He's had an absolutely amazing season so far. Nobody's doubting that, but it's his third season in. He hasn't had this kind of success before. Will he kind of flounder at the tail end of the season? And now, just from what we saw yesterday in the league, Baker Mayfield, he loses against the Jets. Now, I get that he didn't have any of his wide receivers. I understand that, but he still was making some mistakes, fumbling the ball, losing the ball, not good. So, and then we just saw Phillip Rivers start to turn it over as well. So if that trend continues, Josh Allen, Baker Mayfield, Phillip Rivers, I'm kind of grouping all those quarterbacks together. What they're doing this season is kind of out of their these are outlier seasons for those three players so far. So I think we're going to take this 7.5 here with the Patriots. I think this is going to be a lower scoring game. Cam Newton's got nothing to lose. He's kind of playing for a contract still for somebody, so he needs to look good here. He needs to look good. So with all that being said, we're going to take the Patriots plus 7.5 here for a moneymaker. Let me click it. Let me click it to lock it in. Here it is. It's locked in. We're taking it. Patriots plus 7.5. You get the over 7 hook. Always great. Always something to look for when you're betting in this Patriots team at home. Bill Belichick doesn't want to get embarrassed on primetime TV, and I'm not really sure how Josh Allen's going to work. Actually, let's kind of look this up. What's the Patriots' weather going to be like? Because we just saw yesterday that kind of blizzard that the Packers and Titans kind of played in. Very snowy for the first kind of quarter. It kind of definitely died down for the game, but still, we're in New England. It's cold. It's winter there, so let's see what we get there. I forget what I Googled. I'll look it up. Here we go. I do have a specific website I do like going for these, but is it this? RotoWire? I think it is. Bingo bango right here. Alrighty. So let's look at the weather report for... All right, so it's going to be partly cloudy, so really going to be great weather. So that gives kind of Bills minus 7.5 a little bit more play, being kind of, a great night, no snow, not really even cold. It's going to be 40 degrees with 0% chance of precipitation. So, yes, that kind of helps out the Bills minus 7.5, but I'm still going to not really trust Josh Allen 100%. I still think he plays decent, but it's going to be a closer game here. Division games are close. On the road games are close. Patriots, Bill Belichick, he doesn't ever really get blown out like that. So we're still going to take the Patriots plus 7.5 here. Alrighty, with all that being said, let's get into kind of our main topic of today, which is just kind of breaking down all the NFL action from yesterday, laying the groundwork so we can kind of take all that information and apply it to Week 17, the last week, the make or break week, folks. I mean, in the AFC, Dolphins, Ravens, Colts, Browns, 3 of those 4 teams will make the playoffs, kind of winning in kind of mentality, kind of for Patriots, Ravens, and Browns winning in for them. And then the Colts, they would need one of those teams to lose and them to win. So, and then we get in the NFC, we still got, the Bears are still at play, winning in for them. Vikings are still in play. They need to win, but then they need the Bears to lose. And then the NFC East, winning in for Washington, win and with the loss for the Cowboys if they win. And then the Giants can even get in. They win, Cowboys lose, Washington lose, and then the New York Giants are in. So Week 17, a lot to play for in Week 17. So it's going to be good. And we got to know what happened this week to lay the ground floor. So without further ado, let's get into it. And the first matchup we're going to be talking about is Broncos Chargers. And Drew Lock doing what Drew Lock does, awful in the first half, throwing an interception on his first drive. Is that correct? Correct. That's what he does. Interception on first drive, and then scoring all of your points in the fourth quarter. That is classic Drew Lock. And once again, this is classic Chargers doing very good for the first half of the game, putting up 13 points, going into the lead, 13-0, and then squandering that lead. It was tied up 16-16 at some point. But this Chargers team, they're winning games. They're winning games, so that's all we want. This is what, 3 straight games? Anthony Lynn, I think he's saving his job, folks. I think we trust Anthony Lynn. If he can kind of win out next week, 4 straight wins to end the season with the rookie quarterback building the winning culture, this Chargers team could be like the Dolphins next season, folks. Very good. So Anthony Lynn's playing for his job, kind of secured it yesterday with the win, and the Broncos, not really sure what we do with Drew Lock anymore. I don't think he's kind of the quarterback for the future for the Broncos anymore. We've seen kind of enough, turning it over on your first drive, not really doing anything the entire game until the fourth quarter. That doesn't look good. Yeah, the stats may look good because, yes, you're still putting up points, but at the end of the day, you're not winning games, and that's what we need from you. So let's get into it. Drew Lock goes 24 of 47. Not the best. What is that, under 50%? A little over 50. It's like 52. It's very close. But 264 yards, no touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. As we said, one of the interceptions came in the first half, or in their first drive, and they were driving. Look at this. On the Chargers 16, 3rd and 6. I mean, this wasn't a 4th down play, so they could have gotten at least 3 points out of it. And look at that. The Broncos lose by 3 points. It's not a coincidence, folks. It's not a coincidence. Alrighty, and then we go to his second interception, which comes in their very last drive of the game. Classic. They're driving. They're at the 50. They're at the 50 with 1 second left. All right, this is kind of a Hail Mary play. Let's kind of watch it. Let's see what Drew Lock looks like on a Hail Mary. Can he get it there to the end zone? We all know he can. He's got a big arm. So let's just watch it real quick. Let's see what we get here. Drew Lock drops all the way back to pass, steps up in the pocket, and then lets it fly. Yeah, about front of the end zone. Front of the end zone, so not great. Not a great pass, but it's a Hail Mary. Nothing's really great on a Hail Mary ever. So about a 55-yard bomb. Definitely could have gotten it further. I mean, I think we've clocked this man's arm at like 60 at one point. So unfortunate for that. We can kind of write off that second interception, but still that first interception on their opening drive, we see that time and time. That's not his first time. I would say that's at least his third. At least his third. Alrighty, what was the running game up to for the Broncos? No Phillip Lindsay this game, so Melvin Gordon gets the majority of the load, and he had a pretty good game, 16 carries for 79 yards. He's really been getting better as the season progressed. I mean, the Broncos already had Phillip Lindsay coming into the season, then they acquire Melvin Gordon, but that running back by committee can definitely get it done because those are some good running backs there. Phillip Lindsay and Melvin Gordon, getting back to kind of his Chargers form. I like to see that. So 5 yards a carry for him this game. Love to see it. Alrighty, who was Drew Lock going to? Deshaun Hamilton, 5 receptions for 77 yards. Noah Fant, 6 receptions for 65 yards. And Jerry Jeudy, 6 receptions for 61 yards. So very well done. Using your weapons, airing out the ball, 64 yards. That's pretty good. Unfortunately, it doesn't come with the win. So Drew Lock, 3-point interception, really cost them. They lose by 3. You can do the math. Now, luckily for us, we locked this game in at Broncos plus 3.5 on Thursday, and then we saw on game day the line go all the way down to Broncos plus 2.5. So, I mean, we cleared it, but that's kind of why you got to watch early, kind of got to watch every day, and, just watch the line as they progress. When you see something real good, when you're over that 3 hook, when you're over that 7 hook, always got to lock it in when you see it the best, and that's what we did this week. We win because we locked it in early. If we took it on game day, we would have lost. Alrighty, let's finish this game with the Chargers here. Justin Herbert, 21 of 33 for 253 yards, 1 touchdown, no pick. Very good game, solid game for Justin Herbert. Austin Eckler, not a good game for him. Not a great game for him. 10 carries, 45 yards, 4.5 yards a carry, not bad. Justin Herbert ran it 4 times for 26 yards, so using his legs a little bit, definitely. Alrighty, who was Justin Herbert going to? We got Mike Williams, the leading wide receiver, 4 receptions, 54 yards. Stephon Anderson, 4 receptions, 48 yards. Donald Parman. I've never even heard of these wide receivers, folks. Two receptions for 47 yards. So going to everybody else besides because Keenan Allen was out, so he was still trying to make it all work for him. And it's still a decent day, 253 yards passing. That's still very solid, definitely. So Justin Herbert getting it done without his number one weapon, that's a huge sign for the Chargers moving forward. Without your number one wide receiver, you still make your rookie quarterback look good. You still win the game. That's all you can really ask for. So very well done by the Chargers. They beat the Broncos 19-16. Alrighty, then we get Browns and Jets, and we know that the Browns wide receivers were all out this week, so it was really heavy on the running game. Let's see if they did that. How many carries did they have? What? Oh my goodness, why would you trust Baker Mayfield throwing the ball 53 times? That's so weird, because we've seen Kevin Stefanski kind of use Baker Mayfield as kind of a game manager this season. So it's real bizarre without all of the Browns wide receivers that Kevin Stefanski would think that the game plan should be Baker Mayfield throwing the ball 53 times. Now I get that they kind of got down a little bit. I mean, they were down what? 13-3 going into half? That doesn't warrant abandoning the running game. Now maybe when we get to 20-3 in the second half, maybe abandon it a little bit, but that's kind of all you've got. Those are your big weapons. Even with all those wide receivers healthy, the Browns running game is really what opens up the passing game. So the fact that they really abandoned the run here, 11 carries for Nick Chubb for only 28 yards, 4 carries for Kareem Hunt for 11 yards. They ran the ball 15 times. I don't know about this, folks. So Baker Mayfield, he goes 28 of 53 for 285 yards. Kind of a little bit of a dink and dunk for him because he's got no real deep threats because all of his wide receivers were out. No touchdowns, no picks, but, and this is a huge but, folks, he fumbled 3 times and lost 2 of them. Let's see where these fumbles came from. And this is kind of what we know. This is what we know of Josh Allen and Baker Mayfield. We're not too worried about the interceptions because they don't throw too many, and when they do, they kind of limit it to maybe like 1 a game, but it's the fumbles. When they're like QB sneaking and when they're running for the ball, they fumble, and that's a huge red flag. All right, so let's see when his first fumble came in the first quarter. Were they driving? Let's see. Not really driving, but they just did pick up a first down, so that's not good. But they do fumble it on their own 38, and the Jets cash in with a touchdown. So once again, making Baker Mayfield do too much here. I mean, these were 2 straight passes here. Baker Mayfield gets strip sacked, unfortunate. So once again, passing the ball 53 times is not a smart idea with Baker Mayfield. He may not throw the interceptions, but he will commit turnovers with the fumbles. I don't get that. I really don't get that. And I praise kind of Kevin Stefanski on the show a lot. I think he's a real good head coach. It's not a coincidence that Freddie Kitchens won 6 games with Baker Mayfield and all kind of that talent without OBJ. Or no, they had OBJ last year, so what am I talking about? They won 6 games with Freddie Kitchens last year, and now they've already got 10 wins this year, first season for Kevin Stefanski, so I have been praising him, but the game plan here, I don't get it. All right, Baker Mayfield's second fumble comes, once again, kind of in the fourth quarter here. They weren't driving, 3rd and 6 on their own 15, and he fumbles the ball, unfortunate. Where was this turnover on downs? This was Baker Mayfield as well. Do they not credit him for a lost fumble on this? It wasn't lost because Kareem Hunt picks it up, but you can't advance a fumble under 2 minutes unless it's a player fumbling that does recover it. So really, this is Baker Mayfield losing all 3 fumbles. This is crazy. This is why you have to kind of, you look at the stats, but you have to piece it together with the games because this is 3 lost fumbles by Baker Mayfield, folks. This is a lost fumble. Baker Mayfield, it's 4th and 1 on the Jets 16-yard line. They're down 16-23, 1 possession game, and he's on the Jets 16-yard line with 1:25. That's plenty of time to score a touchdown, but they got to pick up the first down. And what does Baker Mayfield do? He runs up the middle, QB sneak, and he fumbles the ball. Doesn't get the first down. He fumbles. It's unfortunate. Now, yes, the Browns do recover it, but it's a turnover on downs because you can't advance the ball. So Not good by Baker Mayfield. And we've said this, folks. What was this, 2 weeks ago? Baker Mayfield, or no, against the Titans, when they blew him out in the first half and Baker Mayfield was just playing game manager in the second half. What did he do in the fourth quarter? He fumbled the ball late in the fourth quarter, and that's why it was a one-score game between the Titans and the Browns, because Baker Mayfield fumbles late in that game, and the Titans, I think they score a touchdown off of it. So a very more close game than what it actually was, because Baker Mayfield's still turning the ball over. So once again, we can't trust Baker Mayfield 100%, and it's unfortunate. Wow. 3 fumbles lost for Baker, unfortunate, and 53 passing yards for him. I don't get that. I do not get that. Woof. All right, let's go to the Jets now. Sam Darnold, how was he looking? 16 of 32. Barely 50%, folks. That's barely 50%. 175 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Very well done. Did he fumble? He did not fumble, so very well done. We can get behind that. So didn't turn the ball over. That's why you win games, not turning the ball over. Definitely can get behind that. Frank Gore, solid game, just kind of averagely solid. 14 carries, 48 yards. And then LaMichael Piran, 9 carries for 30 yards. So, decent running back by committee. Nothing great. But, when you look at these yards, the Jets really shouldn't have won this game. It's really Baker Mayfield's fumbles that really kind of cost them. What was that second fumble that we saw? Yeah, so, 2 of his turnovers result into 10 points scored by the Jets. You take off 10 points by the Jets, the Browns win 16-13, folks. It's not a coincidence that turnovers lose you the game. We see it time and time again. That's really the main factor of why teams lose. If they had the turnover, they're going to pretty much lose the game. Alrighty. All right, let's move on. Here we go. Giants and Ravens, and the Giants put up 13 points. Kind of like what we said. We didn't expect this Giants team to be hugely offensively explosive this week. Daniel Jones still kind of getting 100%. And, Jason Garrett's first game back, calling plays after COVID-19. And they're also on the road against one of the better defenses in the league in the Ravens. So let's start here with the Giants. Daniel Jones, 24 of 41, 252 yards, 1 touchdown, no pick. Did he fumble? He did not fumble. Very well done. All right, Wayne Gallman, the running attack. Oh, my goodness. They barely ran this ball. 6 carries for 27 yards. No touchdowns. Not very good. Yes, you got 4.5 yards to carry, but they just didn't stick with the run. So why are we having Daniel Jones throw the ball 41 times? I'm really not understanding some of these game plans, folks. I don't think the answer to beat the Ravens is having Daniel Jones throw the ball 41 times and only running the ball. What do we got? 6, 7, 8, 11... 11 runs by running backs or tight ends, because Evan Ingram's a tight end, and then Daniel Jones took off for himself once, but nothing great. So abandoning the run, I don't get it. Alrighty, Daniel Jones, he was throwing to Sterling Shepard. Love to see that man back on top here, leading receiver for the Giants. 9 receptions, 77 yards, and a touchdown. Then he goes to Evan Ingram, great tight end, very big safety blanket for Daniel Jones. 7 receptions, 65 yards, no touchdowns. So, a solid game for the Giants, I guess. 252 passing yards is still good by Daniel Jones. Not turning the ball over is still good, and this is a tough Ravens team, so I kind of applaud what the Giants were kind of able to do offensively. Now, they really couldn't get anything going too much here in the first half. Having to settle for field goals, never good when you're facing that Ravens team. And, these were good drives, but they were just stalling. Look at this, on the Baltimore's 13-yard line, very close to scoring touchdowns. And then we get them again here, very close scoring a touchdown. They got all the way down to the Baltimore Ravens' 24-yard line. So we'll definitely look at this in kind of Wednesday in our film study, watching the Giants drive stall. We know Daniel Jones, he can drive the ball down the field, but converting on those long drives with touchdowns and not turning the ball over, those are kind of the big red flags that we have with them. And we see it here with not with the turnovers, which is very good. He's still getting points out of it, but not getting touchdowns. And you're not going to be able to kind of match field goal with touchdown, because the Ravens are going to be scoring touchdowns. So not a great first half there. Then kind of in the second half, they get a touchdown. Finally came in the fourth quarter, but it's just a little bit too late there. Alrighty, now let's go to the Ravens. Lamar Jackson, 17 of 26, back to the under 200 yards passing with 183, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Did he fumble? He did. No, Lamar Jackson. Let's see what the Giants did with his fumble here. He fumbled really at the end of the game with 4 minutes left. They were driving. They were on the Giants' 1-yard line, and he fumbles the ball. That cannot happen. And actually, if he scores that touchdown, remember on, I think, Friday when we made our picks that we liked the Baltimore Ravens minus 20.5. We would have bought them up to that under 3-point hook. You give them another 7 points. That would have put them at 34-13. That's 21, folks. So we were very, very close of hitting that Ravens minus 20.5 that we did like. So, Lamar Jackson fumbling at the 1-yard line, that's why the spreads and backdoor covers when you're betting, it kind of bites you in the butt sometimes. And that's, if we took that, if we, officially made that one of our picks, we're never going to make a minus 20 in the official pick. But very close on that one. Alrighty, let's see what their running attack did. I'm sure it was very good. Gus Edwards, 15 carries for 85 yards, no touchdowns. Lamar Jackson ran it 13 times for 80 yards, no touchdowns. And then J.K. Dobbins, 11 carries for 77 yards and 1 touchdown. Folks, this running attack is so great. I mean, look at this. What do we got? Almost 40? Is that almost 40 pass running attempts by this Ravens team? And they got over 200 yards rushing. So very well done by the Ravens. Best rushing team in the league. And this is, the Ravens sticking to their game plan, which the Browns should have been doing. Why were the Browns did not have the kind of carries that this Ravens team had? This Ravens team and the Browns team, their stats really should look this similar. Baker Mayfield going 17 of 26 for under 200 yards, and their running backs Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb just combining, 30, 40 carries for 200 yards. That's what the Browns should have did, and they didn't. I'm still really befuddled by that. Truly, folks, I don't know what the heck that is. Alrighty, let's see who Lamar Jackson was passing to today. We got Mark Andrews, his tight end. Obviously, that's kind of his number one wide receiver. 6 receptions. He is a tight end, right? Let me double check. I'm like 99.9% sure. Yes. All right. All right, Mark Andrews, 6 receptions, 76 yards. No, I mean, we know this. We know he's going to be their leading receiver. And then Gus Edwards is their second leading wide receiver, 2 receptions, 37 yards. And then finally, we get Marquise Hollywood Brown, an actual wide receiver, 4 receptions for only 25 yards. He did have a touchdown, though. And let's not forget, at one, kind of at the bottom here, Dez Bryant, 1 reception, 8 yards, touchdown. Love to see this man back. He's back. He's scoring points, and we love it. 2 straight games with a touchdown reception. So that's huge. That's going to be great for the Ravens going into the playoffs, kind of expanding their passing attack just a little bit. So that's going to be huge. Hopefully Dez Bryant can have a little bit more of an impact. Only 1 reception here. Only 1 target, right? Only targeted 1. So we'll see if Dez Bryant gets a little bit more burn as we advance in the playoffs. But the Ravens beat the Giants 27-13. Alrighty, best bet of the week, folks. We called this one. Bengals win 37-31 over the Texans. Now, the offense of the Bengals played a little bit better than I thought they would, so I applaud them. But, kind of the basis of what we said, would happen. We liked the Bengals outright. And plus, if you didn't want to bet them straight up, we liked them plus 7.5 points they were getting, and they win by 6. So, best bet of the week, and we called it, and, we love when that happens. Alrighty, let's start here with the Bengals. Brandon Allen, just absolutely fantastic. Look at this, folks. 29 of 37. Only 8 completions for that man. Very well done. And then on top of that, he threw for 371 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Did he turn the ball over? He did not. Very well done. A clean game. Nobody really turned the ball over here. Absolutely fantastic. Well done. The winning culture. I'm telling y'all, Cincinnati's going to be like the Dolphins next season. Watch out for them. Watch out for the Bengals next season. Alrighty, so Brandon Allen had a fantastic game. Let's look at their running attack. Samaje Perine, holy cow, 13 carries for 95 yards, 2 touchdowns. And Giovanni Bernard stepping it up as well, 16 carries for 65 yards. Yeah, another team that really isn't, a huge running team that ran for more yards than the Browns this week. I don't get it, folks. But hey, Kevin Stefanski's got to live with that. That's not me. But, yeah, very well done. Running attack, passing attack. This Texans defense, I'm telling y'all, was trash. They lost their outside linebacker and safety coming into this game. J.J. Watt's a non-factor, folks. I don't even want. He's not the best Watt, brother. T.J. Watt's the best Watt. He's the best Watt. J.J. Watt, he was just the first Watt, so we think he's good. But, yeah, he's all right, but he's nowhere near the level that T.J.'s at. I'm telling y'all. So, Texans team is still not good. Go figure. We know this. All right, let's see who this man was throwing to. Who the heck was Brandon Allen throwing to? Let's see. Leading receiver, T. Higgins. Love to see that. Is he a tight end or is he an actual wide receiver? Let's double check this. He is a wide receiver. Holy cow, look at him go. 6 receptions, 99 yards, and a touchdown. Very well done. Then we get Alex Erickson, 6 receptions, 88 yards. Then we get Giovanni Bernard, 7 receptions, 66 yards. And then we get A.J. Green. How has he fallen, folks? He's fallen so much, and it does kind of suck because he was one of the top receivers in the league when he was at his kind of peak. So 4 receptions, 64 yards by him, no touchdown. And then look at this, Samaje Perine, 4 receptions, 41 yards. So this is great. I'm so impressed by this Bengals offense, folks. 37 points on the road. Running attack was great. Passing attack was great. Let's look at these drives. Scoring on their first drive with a touchdown. Love to see it. Then they got aggressive here. Turnover on downs. Where were they at? Houston's 43, 4th and 2. All right. Try to go to A.J. Green. Dang, let's watch this play. I do kind of want to watch this play. Should we save this for Wednesday or watch it now? Let's save it for Wednesday because I think we want to do a deep dive on this Bengals offense. I want to watch Brandon Allen ball out. We're watching Brandon Allen ball out on Wednesday, folks. I can't wait. How many points? They put up 10 points in the first half and then just clicking it on. Look at this. Touchdown on their first drive in the second half. Touchdown on their second drive in the second half. Field goal on the third drive. Touchdown on their fourth drive. Field goal on they scored on every possession in the second half. Very well done. Oh, I love it. Oh, I can't wait till Wednesday. We're watching Bengals all day Wednesday, folks. That's probably the only game we'll look at. I don't care. All right, let's go to the Texans now. Deshaun Watson, 24 of 33, 324 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no interceptions. You can never count out this Texans offense. I thought they were starting to dwindle, but then Deshaun Watson goes and proves me wrong again. So very well done by them. Really well done by him. And then finally, I've been asking for this to happen all season long. I wanted the running attack to finally get going, and it kind of did here. 12 carries for 128 yards and a touchdown. I know there was 2 big runs that kind of probably set up the majority of these points that the Texans had, but and the majority of the yards that David Johnson had, but it finally got online. It took, 16 weeks for this Texans running game to finally get going, and hey, hopefully, that's good for them going into next season. Alrighty, who was Deshaun Watson throwing to? Brandon Cooks. That's all he's really got left. That's solid and reliable. So well done by Brandon Cooks. 7 receptions for 141 yards and a touchdown. Unfortunately, it was not enough. Keke Coutee going 5 receptions for 54 yards. Then he went to Jordan Akins, 4 receptions, 39 yards. And then Pharaoh Brown, 1 reception, 29 yards. And then Darren Fells, 1 reception, 22 yards. So using his one remaining wide receiver, Brandon Cooks, and still getting it done. So well done. Oh boy, look at this. Who fumbled on the 1-yard line against the Colts? Deshaun Watson. Who fumbled on the 2-yard line against the Colts on their second meeting? Keke Coutee. And who's still fumbling here, folks? Deshaun Watson and Keke Coutee. Now, Keke Coutee, he didn't lose his fumble, so very well done by him, but still fumbling, not reliable. That's what I'm telling y'all. The wide receiver core for this Texans team is dwindling. It's only Brandon Cooks at this point. But then Deshaun Watson, he fumbled twice and lost one. And then we see when he lost it in the fourth quarter. Were they driving here? They weren't driving, but they had 1st and 10 on their own 40. That's great field position with a minute and 35 seconds left, and they're down 3 points. So once again, that's what I'm telling y'all. You can't trust this Texans team. There's no accountability. The head coach, I mean, there's an interim head coach, so players are playing a little bit free and a little bit with no rules. Think about it as a substitute teacher, as I say. But I mean, once again, Texans fumbling in the fourth quarter, under 2 minutes with, when they're down. I mean, we've seen this literally the past, 4 weeks. It's getting a little bit much here. Can't trust Deshaun Watson in the big spots. He turns it over. It's unfortunate. Alrighty, so Bengals get the win 37-31. All right, the next game, Bears, Jags, and now I'm going to have to hear Mitch Trubisky should be the starter. Is that what I'm going to hear? Because they blew out the Jags, because they blew out a tanking Jags team. Oh, my goodness, I don't want to hear any more Mitch Trubisky. The man is not good. Can we finally put this to bed? You know why? Because he's still throwing interceptions in the red zone. Again, when it's tied 10-10, when it was a close game, this was a close game. Now it kind of, it did get blown out in the second half, but when it's a close game, Mitch Trubisky's not making great reads or the best decisions, so you can't trust him. You got to cut this man loose. If you want to keep him on your roster as a backup, that's fine, I guess, because he kind of knows the playbook a little bit, but does he really? He's throwing interceptions in the red zone. Oh my goodness. Nothing infuriates me more than seeing somebody throw an interception in the red zone. And I'm not talking about just my own team. Whenever I watch a game, I'm like, y'all really just cost your team some points. I can never get behind that. So, Bears get the win, but Mitch Trubisky is still making Mitch Trubisky mistakes, and that's all we really need to know. Look at this. 1st and 10, 13 seconds left, or on the Jacksonville's 13-yard line with 35 seconds left. Multiple attempts to throw it into the end zone, but he wants to take a shot and throw a pick. And it was bad, folks. It was bad. It was like triple coverage. There was nothing open. Throw the ball away. Why can Mitch Trubisky not throw the ball away? You would think somebody that's really not that good at quarterback would just be dying to throw the ball away. Oh my God, nothing's open. Throw the ball away. Oh my God, nothing's open. I'm going to throw the ball away. Like, that's how I think not good struggling quarterback would be playing. I mean, Aaron Rodgers throws the ball away more than Mitch Trubisky does, and Aaron Rodgers is a potential GOAT. You can make the argument. Potential MVP. Mitch Trubisky, throw the ball away, and maybe you could become like Aaron Rodgers, an MVP Super Bowl winning quarterback. Maybe. Alrighty, Mitch Trubisky, let's look at his final stat line. 24 of 35 for 265 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. Did he fumble? Let's see if he fumbled. He did fumble once. He fumbled once. He didn't lose it, though, but he's still fumbling. He's still potentially turning the ball over. Folks, what are we talking about? Because he put up 41 points on the Jags? I don't want to hear it anymore. Because he's going to his safety blanket, Jimmy Graham, for all of his touchdowns? Because Allen Robinson is single-handedly carrying Mitch Trubisky's career. Not only is Allen Robinson carrying his own career on his shoulders, but he's also carrying Mitch Trubisky's career. That's it. It's Allen Robinson doing all the work, and then you go to your big tight end safety blanket in the red zone. That's not that hard. That's kind of a blueprint of a struggling bad quarterback, folks. Go to your tight ends, go to your running backs, go to your, safety blankets, dunk it down, check it down every single throw. I'm very over Mitch Trubisky, folks. I'm very much over that. I'm very much over this man. Oh my God, Nick Foles even got, what? Nick Foles even, why would they even do that? He only had 1 throw, but when did they put this man? That's not a good look. Because you just know Matt Nagy is kind of clamoring at the chance of putting Nick Foles back in. The only reason he's not is because the team doesn't score when Nick Foles is in. That's the one green light I will give Mitch Trubisky. Somehow, they still score a lot of points when Mitch is on the field. And it's really not because of him alone. It's just something clicks in the offense. They're like, oh, Mitch Trubisky's playing? Oh, we got to score a lot of points. It's something real bizarre. And it's not Mitch putting up all the points himself. So that's not it. Come at me with another reason, and then maybe I'll hear it out. But it's not Mitch putting up all these points. All right. When did he put in Nick Foles? That's what I need to see. So he got in right here with 3 minutes left. Holy cow. That's when his pass came, his one passing attempt. Not sure who's in here. So, I mean, Mitch Trubisky's final play could have been this one. 11 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Could have been, or it could have been on this drive when they punted with 8 minutes left. But either way, don't put Nick Foles in. That just makes the quarterback controversy even worse, even though there probably shouldn't be one. All right. Let's keep going here. David Montgomery still very good. 23 carries, 95 yards. They are not abandoning the run, folks. That's why the Bears are having success here. He scored a touchdown. Artavius Pierce, two carries for 26 yards and a touchdown. Mitchell Trubisky, 2 carries for 10 yards. He did run in a touchdown as well. All right, let's see who he was passing to. We did kind of cover it already. Allen Robinson, number 2. Jimmy Graham, number 3, or number 2, or Allen Robinson, number 1. Jimmy Graham, number 2. I mean, we know this. All right, let's go to the Jags now. We won't spend too much time because they put up 17 points, and they're tanking actively. Which was very apparent. Come on, folks. What are they doing right here? 17 seconds left and Mike Glennon's throwing an interception on their own 26-yard line. I'm sure, that wasn't tanking. I'm sure, throwing the ball with all that time left is not actively tanking, but you make that call. All right, Mike Glennon, 24 of 37, 211 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks as well. Let's see where these picks came from. Obviously, we know the first one coming, at the end of the second quarter, and the Bears take advantage with the field goal. And then the second interception comes in the third quarter. They weren't driving, but they gave the Bears a short field, and Mitch Trubisky on a short field. He goes to Jimmy Graham for 22 yards. Not hard there. So defense giving short fields for Mitch Trubisky. Running game making it easier for Mitch Trubisky. Folks, this is why he's looking good on paper. Don't want to hear it. Alrighty, what do we got here? Who's the Jags running back? Who is this man? Dare Ugambaule. 14 carries for 71 yards, so good game by him. That's solid. That's a solid game. And then leading wide receiver for the Jags is DJ Chark, which should be every single game. 4 receptions, 62 yards, and a touchdown. Alrighty, Bears get the huge blowout win, 41-17. Alrighty, what else do we got here? Falcons and Chiefs in a close game, and, a lot of people are penalizing the Chiefs for a close game. Can we all relax on that? Usually games are real close, folks. It shouldn't surprise anybody that, games go down the wire. Falcons have nothing to play for. They're just playing. They're playing for their careers. They're playing for their contracts. They're playing for next season. So the fact that, a lot of people say, oh, that team has nothing to play for. Yeah, they do. They have to play for next year. They're still kind of, especially with the Falcons, they don't know who their next head coach is. They might come in and clear house on other players. You don't know. As soon as the head coach for the Falcons gets the nod, signs their contract, the first thing they're going to do, they're going to look at the last 2 weeks. I can guarantee you. They look at the last 2 weeks of film. All right, who's giving 100% out here and who took an early vacation? All right, he took an early vacation. He took an early vacation. He took an early vacation. They're all out of here. We don't need them. They're not going to contribute to us winning. They're gone. So Falcons putting up a fight, obviously. Also, they didn't have Julio Jones, so the Falcons' offense is actually better without Julio. Calvin Ridley takes the number 1 spot, and, it just works for some reason. All right, let's get into these stats. Matt Ryan, 27 of 35 for 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Kind of well done. But, as we see, they only put up 14 points, so the Chiefs defense really clamping up. And I love kind of how this is, the new narrative now that the Chiefs suck. Okay, yes, their offense didn't put up 40 points. They still put up 17 points. They still won the game, and the defense still looked good. They held the opposing team to 14 points. That's great. Stop that. If you hold a team under 20 points, it's always great. I don't want to hear it. So the Chiefs, everybody's just blanketing statements of this Chiefs team being trashed now. It's a little annoying to listen to. I'm going to say it. All right. So Matt Ryan, good game. This is a decent game. Now, he didn't score a lot, so, yes, the yards are kind of all for naught because they've only went down and scored twice. But still, at the end of the day, he didn't turn the ball over. Did he fumble? He did fumble. He didn't lose it, though. A lot of fumbles here. Matt Ryan fumbled. Ito Smith fumbled. Foyo Okuran fumbled. And Brandon Powell fumbled. He's the only one that actually lost his fumble. So still a lot of turnovers. Once again, Chiefs defense punching out the ball. Yes, they couldn't get on those turnovers. But still, those fumbles possibly, allowed the Falcons to have to punt. So still, at the end of the day, the Chiefs defense is still good, folks. Let's all relax on that. Ito Smith, 10 carries, 46 yards. Brian Hill, 7 carries, 36 yards. Todd Gurley, 4 carries, 16 yards. Oh, I love that. Falcons going running back by committee. I can get behind that, definitely. And then just have Matt Ryan be a little bit game manager with all those weapons. Calvin Ridley, Gage, Russell Gage, and Julio Jones when he's fully healthy. Okay, I can see the direction of the Falcons going. I don't think that's what they're going to do, but they kind of did it here this game, so I kind of like it. Running back by committee, didn't do very well. Ito Smith, 46 yards. Brian Hill, 36 yards. Todd Gurley, 16 yards. Is that almost barely 100 yards between three people? Because we just saw the Ravens put up 200 yards on 3 people. Ooh, all right, so Falcons definitely have to get their running back by committee game figured out a little bit. Calvin Ridley, number 1 wide receiver. No surprise there. This man is so freaking good, folks. I'm telling y'all. What is this, his 2nd year in the league? I think it was a rookie last season. So he's carrying over. He's fantastic. 5 receptions, 130 yards. Gotta love it. Hayden Hurst, 2nd leading wide receiver for the Falcons. 5 receptions, 47 yards, and he did score a touchdown. And then Laquan Treadwell, he was the other wide receiver that scored a Matt Ryan touchdown. So very well done to him. 2 receptions, 11 yards in the touchdown. Alrighty, let's go to the Chiefs now. Patrick Mahomes, 26 of 44 for 278 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he did throw a pick. Let's see where this pick came from. Second quarter, is this his or Sammy Watkins' pick? This is Sammy Watkins' interception. So his interception led to an Atlanta Falcons field goal. Once again, this kind of doesn't surprise us a little bit. Actually, never mind. He went 98 yards. So I was going to say a short field for, Matt Ryan. That's what he does. But hey, he drove down the full field. So we got to give him a lot of credit for that one. All right. And then Patrick Mahomes' interception came in the third quarter, their very first drive, and the Falcons couldn't do anything with it. So well done by the Chiefs defense stopping, another score off of a turnover. Very well done. All right, the running game, Darrell Williams. I mean, they have all those running backs, and they go to Darrell Williams, 10 receptions, 10 carries, I should say, 46 yards. Le'Veon Bell, 7 carries, 30 yards. Patrick Mahomes, he ran it 3 times for 21 yards. Classic Patrick Mahomes running game. Alrighty, and then who are the top 2 leading wide receivers for the Chiefs? I'll let y'all guess. It's real easy, folks. It's real simple. Travis Kelce, number 1, 98 yards and a touchdown. Tyreek Hill, number 2, 65 yards. I mean, that's all they go to. That's what they've got, and that's who they go to. A tight end who's playing absolutely out of his mind, who I still think is the leading wide receiver. He's a leading wide receiver as a tight end, folks. It's real bizarre. So, close game for the Chiefs. But we've seen this Chiefs in close games. The Chargers, in the first, 5 weeks, something like that, took them into overtime. But they still get it done. That's what we want. We want you winning games. I don't care if you blow them out. I don't care. I actually kind of don't like when you blow out a team consistently because, that doesn't show us a lot. But these close games, these grit games, pound and ground, right in the trenches, close game all the way throughout. Those are the games that build character. And that's why, those teams, win championships because, they had that adversity. They overcame it. They know what to look for. There's coachable moments all over the field. So Chiefs get the win 17-14. Alrighty, Colts and Steelers, and folks, this is a classic Colts team. Good in the first half, not good in the second half. Phillip Rivers turning the ball over. Folks, we got to look at this one right away. Right away. We're going right to Phillip Rivers' interception in the fourth quarter. If it's not up here, it is up here. It's a big play. Folks, it just sucks because I've been saying it for so long. I was like, what, I'm going to give them a chance finally, and then they bite me in the butt. Folks, we've been saying this since like week 3 in this league. So ever since they lost the Browns. Phillip Rivers has these moments where he plays real lazy, especially when he loses the lead and he tries to come back from behind. It just doesn't work, and this is why he doesn't have a ring. Ask yourself, how could a quarterback, that is statistically this good have no rings? This is why. Not playing well in the fourth quarter, not holding on to your leads, and throwing careless interceptions. Now, I'm going to let this fumble slide. Because he did fumble, and he did lose it, and it came here in the second quarter, and the Steelers ended up getting a touchdown out of that and tying the game as it kind of looked like the Colts were going to run away with this game, and they kind of still did in the first half. I mean, they were up 21-7, but this fumble, I'm going to excuse it by Phillip Rivers because it's, he did fumble by TJ Watt, the best Watt brother. Folks, one more. We know what we're talking about here. So, anyway, we excuse the fumble. I'm not even going to be talking about that one, but this interception is absolutely inexcusable. They finally lost the lead, and this is the first possession by the Colts when they officially lost the lead to go down 28-24. There's 7 minutes left in this game, plenty of time, and what does this man do? A lazy, careless interception. This is 1st and 10. They're at midfield, basically. There's no reason to kind of take this shot when it's not there. Look at this man. Look at that! You're taking the shot. It's double coverage against Michael Pittman Jr. Maybe if you took the shot with T.Y. Hilton, maybe we can excuse it. And I do like Michael Pittman Jr., but that's not your number one wide receiver. And you're taking the shot, and it's careless, and it's not needed. There's no reason to shoot this shot. And then not only did you shoot this shot, but you overthrew it. You overthrew this pass. Look at this. So it's not even a good shot because it wasn't even catchable by the receiver. This is what I'm telling y'all, folks. The lazy, careless plays. This is it right here. We see it. I've been seeing it for, how long has he been in the league? 18 years? I've been seeing it for 18 years. In the 1 week that we finally jump on them, I'm telling y'all, the only good thing that I really love about this Colts team is the running game. Jonathan Taylor, 18 carries for 74 yards and 2 touchdowns. Then we get to Nyheim Hines, 8 carries for 44 yards. This running back by committee by the Colts is real good, and they can catch out of the backfield. They're very good at that as well. So that's what we got. Let's Phillip Rivers. I don't think I went over his stats. 22 of 35, 270 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. The pick coming in the fourth quarter. They only put up 3 points in the second half. We know this by this Colts team. It's no surprise, folks. It's no surprise. All right, leading wide receiver for the Colts, Zach Pascal, 3 receptions for 64 yards and a touchdown. T.Y. Hilton, 3 receptions for 60 yards. Jack Doyle, 4 receptions, 50 yards. Now he does he does spread the ball around. I mean, look at this. This is pretty good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different wide receivers for the Colts, all with basically 20-plus yards. Now that I definitely like about Phillip Rivers, but then we get the bad with him. When, things are crumbling, he doesn't perform well. All right, let's switch off to the Steelers now. Big Ben Roethlisberger, 34 of 49, 342 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks, really airing it out in the second half. Love to see it finally. The offense caught some momentum. The receivers were catching balls, contested balls, tight throws. They were making them all, and that's exactly what we needed the Steelers to do. We needed their offense, their wide receivers to step up. It's not, we could have placed the blame on Big Ben, but, still those wide receivers were dropping a ton of passes here that kills drives. So well done by the Steelers finally getting it figured out on offense. Now, it wasn't the running game. They did not run the ball again, so that is still kind of leaves us a little hesitant on the Steelers team. James Conner, 5 carries for 20 yards and a touchdown. Deontay Johnson carried it once for 2 yards, and then Benny Snell carried it 6 times for no yards. So this is the Steelers abandoning the running game. Now, they did kind of get down big, but not really early. I mean, it started to get out of hand a little bit right here at 21-7 midway second quarter. But really, I mean, you can establish the run in the beginning of the game. So even in the beginning of the game, they weren't running. And then in the second half, you're down kind of 14 points early. There's not too many opportunities to run the ball now because you've got to kind of score quickly. So Steelers abandoning the running game, really never got it started anyway. Alrighty, who were these leading wide receivers for the Steelers? Well, Juju Smith-Schuster's number 1, 9 receptions, 96 yards and a touchdown. Then we got Deontay Johnson, 8 receptions, 75 yards and a touchdown. Then we get Chase Claypool, 4 receptions, 54 yards. This is what I love about Big Ben, going to his actual wide receiver weapons. Top 3 leading wide receivers are all wide receivers. Then we get Eric Ebron, the safety blanket, the end zone target, the red zone target. 5 receptions, 47 yards. yards and the touchdown. And then look at this. I mean, James Washington, he's what, number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's the 6th leading wide receiver, and he's still very good. 2 receptions for 20 yards. So very well done by the Steelers team. They didn't turn the ball over. Very well done. Even better. They did not turn the ball over. They turned it over on downs, but that's a different turnover. So very well done by the Steelers. Offense getting back on track, and now the Steelers, they have to play their offense next week, not only to kind of wrap up that number 2 seed, but to also have this offense carry over the momentum into the playoffs, because if you go and sit all the starters for the Steelers, Big Ben could get cold again, and that we cannot happen, because we just saw it kind of takes 3.5 games for the offense to get reloaded after a reboot. So you can't sit the Steelers, the starters, Big Ben, the wide receivers, you can't sit them in week 17, even though that you might want to. Alrighty, next game up, Panthers, Washington. Alright, Washington, Dwayne Haskins, we kind of said it at the top of the show, but he officially lost his job. Dwayne Haskins didn't do anything all game. Look at this stat line, folks. 14 of 28, 50% completion, 154 yards, no touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Did he fumble? Wouldn't surprise me if he did. Dwayne Haskins, 1 fumble, and he lost it. So 3 turnovers by a captain that just got his captain stripped of him, that was out partying at a strip club, maskless, putting his team in danger, and he still can't step up, knowing that he's on a contract year as well as all that, and he's still not stepping it up. It's unfortunate, but Dwayne Haskins cannot play. This is certified. This is 100% fact. Dwayne Haskins he was never good, but he's not good now as well. So unfortunate for him. Let's see where all these turnovers came from. Is this his fumble here? Is he the only one that fumbled? Steven Sim fumbled as well. Who fumbled this one? All right, shotgun sacked. Yeah, so Dwayne Haskins fumbles in the first quarter, and luckily for their defense, one of the better defenses in the league, the Carolina doesn't get any points out of it. Now let's go to his interception, and the Carolina scores a touchdown off of that. Comes in the second quarter. Now his last interception kind of gets bailed out as well. It's the end of half. They couldn't do anything. They're on their own 39-yard line, 7 seconds left, kind of a Hail Mary kind of situation. And luckily for the Panthers, they can't do anything with it. So Dwayne Haskins gets bailed out, but at the end of the day, he still didn't do enough to, beat the Panthers. So he puts up no points on his own. I don't even think they scored when he was in. They scored a field goal. Was he in for this drive? They scored another field goal. They scored 2 field goals with that man, and then they go and do some turnovers on downs. This one, they bench him, and then Heineke starts in the fourth quarter. So Dwayne Haskins plays awful. We know this. Now Taylor Heineke, 12 of 19, 137 yards and 1 touchdown, and that's pretty good. Now he did come in the game when they were down. What were they down officially? 20-6 when he came down. So Carolina defense just giving you the underneath routes. Terry McLaurin didn't play for Washington, so Dwayne Haskins struggles, amplified even more. And Taylor Heineke, yeah, he still threw for 137 yards, but it was kind of against a relaxed Carolina defense. Alrighty, Antonio Gibson, he finally returned to action for Washington. 10 carries for 61 yards, still very decent. All right, let's see who Washington was throwing to this game. J.D. McKissick, 8 receptions for 77 yards and a touchdown. Is he a running back? He is. Classic safety blankets. This is no surprise here. Logan Thomas, 7 receptions, 63 yards. Is he a tight end? He is, folks. I mean, this is no surprise when your leading wide receivers out, when you have a struggling quarterback, when your second-string quarterback's in, you're throwing to your running backs and tight ends, and this is what we see right now looking at these leading wide receivers for Washington. Then we get Cam Sims, third leading wide receiver, and I believe he is an actual wide receiver, and he is, but he only had how many yards? 63 yards. That's still pretty solid. So, no surprise here. Leading wide receivers are running backs and tight ends for Washington, and they ended up losing. All right, now let's go to Carolina now. They're going to be so good next year, folks. I'm telling y'all. Teddy Bridgewater, 19 of 28, 197 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Not great. Where did this pick come from? Where did his pick come from? Right here in the second quarter. Were they driving? A little bit. They're on Washington's 40, 1st and 10, 21 seconds left. This is the one knock that I have on Teddy Bridgewater. At the end of halves, he plays the absolute worst. At the end of halves and at the end of games. So at the end of the second quarter, at the end of the fourth quarter, he's really not reliable. So that's never good. It's not that he turns the ball over. He did it here, but he still kind of takes sacks, pushing them out of field goal range for, end of half field goals or, game tying field goals. He makes it hard. He takes the sacks. He turns it over. At the end of halves, this man cannot play. Now, for the rest of the game, he's actually real good, folks. He's real accurate. He moves the ball down the field. They move the ball. They have a lot of drives. They extend the drives with first down pickups. But at the end of halves, this man struggles the most. All right, leading rusher is Curtis Samuel. Is this correct? He's not even a running back, so they weren't even using Mike Davis that much. Curtis Samuel, 7 carries for 52 yards. Then we have Mike Davis, and I liked Mike Davis, but he definitely got shut down this game. No surprise to a good Washington defense. Mike Davis, 14 carries for 28 yards and a touchdown. Alrighty, now who does Teddy Bridgewater go to? And this should surprise nobody. He goes to his wide receivers. He loves his wide receivers. Curtis Samuel, 5 receptions, 106 yards. Robbie Anderson, 7 receptions, 39 yards, touchdown. DJ Moore, 5 receptions, 37 yards. I mean, he's going to his actual wide receiver weapons. And this is what I'm telling y'all. Teddy Bridgewater has kind of turned these wide receivers, Curtis Samuel, Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore, into some like tier 1 targets. It's pretty impressive to watch. So now they get Christian McCaffrey back next year. They kind of shore up their defense a little bit or whatever, Matt Rule sees fit. Matt Rule's still a good coach. I am buying into Matt Rule. I was a little iffy coming into this season, but he's really kind of proved this man can coach. So love to see it. Alrighty, let's move on. Here we go. Rams and Seahawks, and Seahawks get the win. I mean, this was a defensive showdown, and folks, we have to take the Eagles. I know we haven't covered this game. Is it next up? It is next up, but Eagles defense is pretenders. They kind of fooled me a little bit. They had a good kind of 2, 3, 4 week stretch, kind of like that Cardinals team did. If you can remember, maybe like 5, 6 weeks ago, they kind of put this together a kind of good string of defense. I think it was kind of right before that Dolphins game, like kind of the 2 weeks before that, and maybe the Dolphins game the week after that. But the Eagles defense is pretenders, and now the Seahawks defense is becoming contenders again. So our top 5 defenses, little shake up this week. We've got Dolphins, Steelers, Washington, Seattle, and who was that 5th? We were putting Seattle in, Miami, Steelers, Washington, Seattle, Rams. Rams was the other defense. So these are the top 5 defenses in the league now. Eagles go and Seattle goes in. So real big defensive battle. Field goals basically for the majority of the game. And then Seattle's offense really kind of picked it up in the second half, scoring 2 touchdowns. We'll start with the Seahawks here. Russell Wilson, 20 of 32 for 225 yards. 1 touchdown, no pick. Did he fumble? They did not fumble, so very well done. Russell Wilson not turning the ball over, and they win. That is no coincidence, folks. Alrighty, Chris Carson, decent carry game here. 16 carries for 70 yards. I can get behind that. All right, and who was Russell Wilson going to? Well, DK Metcalf, 6 receptions, 59 yards. All right, no touchdowns. David Moore, 1 reception for 45 yards. Big play there. Tyler Lockett, 3 receptions for 44 yards. So, truly a defensive battle. The running game really couldn't get going. In the passing game, only 225 yards. Nothing special. So, just very, very, very defensive battle. That's really all this game was. Alrighty, Jared Goff, 24 of 43, not very good there. 234 yards, no touchdowns, 1 pick. Let's see where his pick came from. Here it is in the second quarter, and the Seahawks get 3 points out of it, cashing in on turnovers. Now, did he fumble as well? No, somebody else fumbled, but they didn't lose it. But 1 turnover, it's killer, folks. It's killer. All right, the running attack for the Rams, Darrell Henderson, 12 carries for 62 yards. Malcolm Brown, 7 carries for 27 yards. And Jared Goff even ran 7 times for 23 yards, doing his, best Russell Wilson impression. Did Russell Wilson even run this game? He did, 3 times for 9 yards and a touchdown. All right. Now, who was Jared Goff trying to throw to this game? Cooper Kupp. No surprise there. Leading wide receiver, 8 receptions for 66 yards. Josh Reynolds, 6 receptions for 65 yards. And Robert Woods, 4 receptions for 48 yards. So just kind of a big defensive battle. No points scored. Defense is playing well after the other team crossed kind of half field or midfield, not letting them get set up for, shorter field goals. So great game to watch. This was a very entertaining game for the NFC West. NFC West, yeah. So, well done by the Seahawks. They kind of wrap up that playoff spot, so well done by them. Rams, they're going to be a wild card, unfortunately. Alrighty, now we go to Eagles and Dallas, and the Eagles, their defense, I don't know, man. They did not look good this game. Let's start with the Cowboys, because look at what the heck what Andy Dalton did. This is disgusting. 22 of 38, only 8 completions, 377 yards on 23 completions, 3 touchdowns, and he did have the interception. Let's see where that came from. The interception coming at the end of the third quarter, and unfortunately, Eagles cannot do anything with that turnover. They turn it over on downs. They're at the Dallas's 33-yard line. What are they down 17-30, so down 13 points. They didn't want to settle for the field goal or a longer field goal, and they don't get any points off of the turnover. All right, no fumbles there by Dallas either. So only 1 turnover, and they kind of, got away scot-free. So well done. Ezekiel Elliott finally has a good game. Finally, this man steps up. I would say better late than never, or I would say too little too late, but they still got a chance to the NFC East. So, better late than never, I should be saying. So Ezekiel Elliott, 19 carries, 105 yards. He still didn't score a touchdown, but still, setting up those scoring points, that's exactly what you want to do. So very well done by Ezekiel Elliott, finally putting together a good game. Turnover-free game, over 100 yards carrying. This is what you should have done. When did Dak get injured? As soon as Dak went out, that next drive, you should have been like, all right, it's my time, it's go time. 100 yards ever since then, but he hasn't done that. And then look at this. Andy Dalton was firing. He was firing, folks. Amari Cooper, 4 receptions, 121 yards. Michael Gallup, 6 receptions, 121 yards again, and 2 touchdowns. Then we get CeeDee Lamb, 3 receptions for 65 yards and a touchdown. It was just this Eagles defense. It kind of fooled me a little bit. I was buying into them, and they let us down this week. Now let's look at Jalen Hurts. How well did he play? Well, he had the yards, and that may be it. But he had 21 of 39 for 342 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 interceptions. These are killer. Let's see where they were, folks. First interception. Oh, my goodness. Did they both come in the fourth quarter? Oh, gosh. First interception came... Oh, absolutely killer. 3rd and 12 on Dallas's 17-yard line, and they were only down 2 possessions at this point, 30-17. Dang, come on, Jalen. So he throws an interception. And who's this fumble by? This better not be his fumble as well. Eagles fumbles. Jalen Hurts fumbled twice and lost once. Jalen Hurts turns it over himself 3 times in the fourth quarter when they're down 2 possessions. His fumble here. Dallas's 18-yard line. Holy cow. Is that right? Jalen Hurts scrambles at Dallas. Yeah, wow. He had a 43-yard penalty, pass interference, and then he fumbles the ball. They could have scored quickly. 4 minutes left. It's a 1-possession game. Damn it, Jalen. Come on. Got to be a little bit better. Now, do we give him a little bit of a break since this is his 3rd game as a rookie? A little bit of a break, but still, when it's down in crunch time and your coach makes that switch and you still have a chance at the division lead, the Eagles really would have been at a prime spot to take the division if they beat the Cowboys, because then they faced Washington and would have been winning for the division. So, Jalen Hurts really kind of controlled his own destiny here, having Washington lose. Damn it. All right, and then the interception comes on their very last drive here, just trying to do something on Dallas's 41-yard line with 45 seconds left. You take a shot. We're not going to penalize them too much on this one. These other turnovers are far worse than, game over, 45 seconds left. You're just trying to do something. So, damn it, Jalen. All right, let's see what they did on the ground. 9 carries for Jalen Hurts with 69 yards, leading rusher. Miles Sanders, 15 carries for 57 yards and a touchdown. They did keep running the ball, so I do like that. But still, man, Jalen Hurts got to take a little bit better carry of the ball. And they scored on their first 2 possessions. They made it 14-3, very close. So the fact that Jalen Hurts kind of squandered the game for the rest of the time, very disappointing. Very disappointing. Alrighty, who was Jalen Hurts going to? He went to Deshaun Jackson once. That's why they were up 14-3, because he hit Deshaun Jackson for a one-shot, 81-yard touchdown. And then, everything else, not very good. Then we get Quez Watkins, 2 receptions for 57 yards. Dallas Goedert, running back, 3 receptions, 38 yards. Then you go to your tight end, 3 receptions for 33 yards. So not really a good day passing for Jalen Hurts throughout the entire day. All right, we covered everybody. Yep. All right, let's move on to the last meeting matchup of the week. Titans, Packers. Packers absolutely kind of blow them out. Very good job by the Packers, scoring consistently through the entire game. We'll start here with the Packers. Aaron Rodgers, what a game by him. 4 incompletions, 21 of 25, 231 yards, 4 touchdowns. He did throw a pick. Let's see where that came. Interception by Aaron Rodgers came in the 4th quarter after Ryan Tannehill threw an interception. He gives it kind of right back a little bit. They were already up 33-14, so not going to put too much pressure on Aaron Rodgers for that interception. I know he's upset with it because he wants that 4-to-1 touchdown interception ratio for the season. But he had a great game. Great game by the Packers, letting us kind of believe in them a little bit more. Our one knock was on them. Their offense, it sputters a little bit. They don't pick up the first downs. They kind of go 3 and out a little bit, and then they lose the games because of that. Or Aaron Rodgers turns the ball over and they get lazy at that point. That was the one knock, but he played a clean game here. At home in the elements, that's where the Packers thrive because they're used to it. Now you go to Tennessee. They should be used to it playing in Tennessee. They still get the snow there, but they did not look good. Tannehill, look at this: 11 of 24, 121 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks. Let's see where his picks came from. 2nd quarter, Green Bay gets a touchdown out of that, and then we said, he throws an interception in the 3rd quarter, and then, they do get it right back. So 1 huge killer interception. He also fumbled, but didn't lose it. But he only threw 120 yards. That's not going to get done. And then we look at Derrick Henry, 23 carries, 98 yards, still doing big things running the ball, but not, that 150-yard game. And then, the only thing that really makes this Tennessee Titans team work when Derrick Henry's not scoring the ball is that Ryan Tannehill takes advantage because everybody's playing run, and then you hit him over the top. But as we see, A.J. Brown, 4 receptions, 43 yards, no touchdown. And then, who's his other one? Corey Davis didn't even catch it at all. So not going to your big wide receivers that he usually does go to. All right. Let's we just quickly went through this one. We didn't even talk about the Packers running game. Let's talk about that real quick. A.J. Dillon, 21 carries for 124 yards and 2 touchdowns. Oh my goodness. That's A.J. Dillon. That's not Aaron Jones, folks. So yes, this Packers has 2 deep running backs, and they kind of have 2 deep wide receivers, Devontae Adams and who was it? Allen Lazard. He can't get it done. He's proven he can get it done. So, oh my goodness. Look at this running back by committee. It's better than Derrick Henry. Oh my goodness. 31 carries and it rushed for well over 200 yards. Holy cow. Very well done by the running back by the Packers running game. And then Devontae Adams doing Devontae Adams things. 12 targets, 11 receptions. Wild. 142 yards, 3 touchdowns. Holy moly. Devontae Adams. Too good, folks. Too good. Alrighty, and that's going to bring us to our last topic. Are we going to fit this in today? Yeah, let's fit it in today. We're going to do our MVP. Who do we think should be the MVP? Everybody's saying it's clear Aaron Rodgers, but let's hold up, folks. So I've got their stats here. We're just going to kind of count. We're going to break down a lot of categories and award somebody, or Patrick Mahomes or Aaron Rodgers, a point based on that category. We'll tally them all up and kind of see who we think should be the MVP. So here we go. The 4 main stats that quarterbacks should be worrying about: yards, completion percentage, touchdown, and interceptions. That's really all we really need to be talking about with quarterbacks. So let's start here. Patrick Mahomes. We'll start with yards. 4,740 yards. These are just passing yards, folks. So 47 yards passing by Patrick Mahomes, where Aaron Rodgers only has 4,000. So we got to give passing yards to Patrick Mahomes. So we give him passing yards. Alrighty. Now let's go to completion percentage. Aaron Rodgers, 70%. That is, folks, that is absolutely fantastic. 70% for the season. Oh my goodness, absolutely fantastic. So Aaron Rodgers has 70% and Patrick Mahomes has 66%. So we give Aaron Rodgers completion percentage. So let's give him that. Alrighty, now next category, touchdowns. We'll do touchdowns, 44 touchdowns for Aaron Rodgers and 38 touchdowns for Patrick Mahomes. Now, if we even include rushing touchdowns for Patrick Mahomes, I think Aaron Rodgers still has more touchdowns total. So, rushing touchdowns, he's got only 2 this year. Patrick Mahomes only has 2. So, Aaron Rodgers does win touchdowns. Alrighty, now let's go to interceptions. Patrick Mahomes, 6 interceptions, and Aaron Rodgers, 5. So, Aaron Rodgers does win interceptions. Alrighty. So those are the 4 main categories for MVP, or really for quarterback kind of rating. How you want to watch a quarterback, just kind of look at those 4 main stats, folks. You can tell a lot by those. So yes, by those stats, Aaron Rodgers is the clear favorite, and that's why you're seeing it a lot on Twitter and in the media. Just Aaron Rodgers MVP just because of those stats. Really because of 70% completion percentage. That's really, I'm telling y'all, that is absolutely fantastic. That's really the big factor of why Aaron Rodgers so far seems front runner in the media. Now, let's take a look at record, because yes, that matters, folks. MVP, your most valuable player. I do not want a 4-10 MVP, folks. Yes, your stats were good, but they didn't translate to wins, so I don't care what they were. So Aaron Rodgers, 13-3 or 12-3 this so far this season, but Patrick Mahomes is 14-1. He's only lost 1 game, even though he may have had some down games, so we have to give Patrick Mahomes the record. We got to give him that. Alrighty, now, let's try to go a little bit deeper into kind of some of these games and what these stats mean a little bit more. Now, let's kind of keep the mindset of record into play. How did these quarterbacks look in their losses? Let's take a look at that quickly. Aaron Rodgers in his losses, let's count them here. First loss came against Tampa Bay, 45% completion percentage, no touchdowns, 2 picks, 160 yards passing. That's horrible. That's real good. That's real bad. I mean, not even giving your team a chance to win that game. So that's a huge loss, and you can kind of put a lot of it on Aaron Rodgers for not performing well. Now let's go to his second loss against Minnesota. Once again, 65% completion percentage. That's pretty good. I'll give him that. 291 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. All right, not so much Aaron Rodgers' fault. Now let's go to his third loss. 71% completion percentage, 311 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. So, and this was against Indianapolis. They lose by 3. So once again, really not Aaron Rodgers' fault alone, but he did throw an interception here. All right, now let's go to Patrick Mahomes' 1 loss. His 1 loss came from, all right, the Raiders. And what did he do? 51% completion percentage, 340 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. All right, so, kind of big there. Not good. Not a very good game by him. So, those are kind of even. They played good in those losses, except Aaron Rodgers had that real bad game. So I guess we have to knock Aaron Rodgers for 1 really bad game. That loss against Tampa Bay, that's really inexcusable. That's his worst loss. His worst loss, let's count that. Worst loss. Or no, let's just count it as his worst game. Should we categorize it as that? Because that is his worst game. All right, let's take worst game. Worst games, and Aaron Rodgers, he went, what do we got? 45% completion percentage. 160 yards, and 2 touchdown interceptions. So that's his worst game. Now let's go to Patrick Mahomes' worst game. Was it the loss? Let's see. Was it the loss? 1 touchdown, no pick. 1 touchdown, no pick. 2 touchdowns. Yeah, that's probably his worst game. 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. 340 yards, though. 340 yards. That's still pretty good. So we'll just count that. Worst game loss. All right, let's clearly define the category. Worst loss game. And that's, Patrick Mahomes. Worst loss game would be 51% completion percentage, 340 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. So even in the worst games that they had this season, Patrick Mahomes played good in that worst game. This game really, really is a MVP kind of case killer. And if you want to take the MVP case killer for Patrick Mahomes game, you take that loss. And he still looked decent in that loss. So I still think, Patrick Mahomes still slightly in favor because of that. Alrighty, now let's talk about touchdown games. How did they look in kind of their best games? What were they looking like? Well, we see Aaron Rodgers throwing touchdowns, 4 touchdowns in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games this season. That's good. So 4 touchdowns in 6 games. Let's count that for Aaron Rodgers. 4 touchdowns plus, we'll count it in 6 games. That's very well done. Now let's look at Patrick Mahomes. What does his touchdowns look like? We'll count 4 because that's the bar we're setting. So 4 or more. Patrick Mahomes has 4 touchdowns in 1 game, 5 touchdowns in a game, 4 touchdowns in another one. So 3 games with 4 or more touchdowns. So that's a little bit, that's going to go to Aaron Rodgers because he's got 3 more games with 4 more touchdowns. Now, Patrick Mahomes does have a 5-touchdown game, but that's only 1. So, alrighty, now let's count. What else do we do? Should we do best yardage game? What is their best yardage game? We'll try to find the mark here. Aaron Rodgers, what has he got here? 364 yards. So we'll count like 350 yard plus games or just 300 yard plus games. Let's count 300 yard plus games here. Aaron Rodgers has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 300 yard plus games. That's pretty good. Now let's see what Patrick Mahomes has. We're doing 300 yard plus games. So Patrick Mahomes has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 300 yard plus games. Holy cow. How many 400 plus yards games does he have? 1, 2, 2. Okay. 2 300 yard plus games. I think Aaron Rodgers had 1, correct? No, he didn't even have any 400 plus yards games. So we have to kind of credit that as well. We have to make that a stat, folks. So we have 9 300 yard games from Patrick Mahomes. And we're just talking passing because Aaron Rodgers isn't a dual threat. So we'll try to keep it a little bit of an even playing field. But 2 400 yard plus games for Patrick Mahomes. And Aaron Rodgers doesn't have any. Alrighty, now let's count multiple interception games. Did you throw more than 1 interception in a game? Because that's bad. So let's start here with Aaron Rodgers. Multiple interception games. We've got 1 multiple interception. And then we've got for Patrick Mahomes, multiple interception games. We've got 1 as well. So 1 multiple interception game. Alrighty, folks. I mean, I would say that's kind of all the major categories to kind of look at. Maybe best highest percentage completion percentage game. Let's kind of go with that then. We'll go with that, and then we'll kind of end it there because that's really the biggest categories you can get. You know what? Actually, let's count before. Let's instead of doing completion percentage, let's do toughest schedule. If we think a team is good, like a little bit above average, we'll count it as a good team, and we'll see how many. We'll count the schedule, and now that will be kind of our final determining factor. So we'll end it here with Patrick Mahomes. We'll start here. Patrick Mahomes schedule against good teams. Houston week 1, they're not a good team. Chargers week 2, not a good team. Baltimore, yes, that's a good team. That's a good win. New England. That's tough. We're not going to count New England, though. Raiders, at the time they faced them, they were a good team. They lost, so we won't even count it because it's not even a win. All right, Buffalo, that's a good win. Denver, not a good win. Jets, not a good win. Carolina, not a good win. Raiders again. We're going to count that as a good win because it's a division opponent. Should we count that? Let's not count the Raiders. They're not that good of a team, but they're not in the playoffs, so we won't count that. We'll count in the hunt for the playoffs kind of caliber teams. So Tampa Bay, that's a good win. Denver, not a good win. Miami, a good win. New Orleans, a good win. Atlanta, not a good win. So that's 5 good wins for Patrick Mahomes. And we're counting kind of playoff teams, playoff caliber teams. If you're in the hunt right now at this moment, we'll count it as a good win. All right, now let's go to Aaron Rodgers. Good wins here. Minnesota, they can't get in the playoffs anymore, so we're not going to count that as a good win. Detroit, no. New Orleans Saints, yes, so that's one good win. Then we get Tampa Bay, but they lost against that, so that's not even a win. Houston, not a good win. Minnesota, as we said, not a good win. 49ers, not a good win. Jacksonville, not a good win. Indy, good win, but it's a loss, so we can't even count that. Chicago, they can make the playoffs, so we give them that win. Philadelphia can't, Detroit can't, Carolina can't, and Tennessee can. So only three good teams. 3 good wins, where Patrick Mahomes has 5 good wins. So let's we'll tally it all here. This is what we got for Aaron Rodgers' case as MVP. He's got the completion percentage. He's got the touchdowns, and he has the least interceptions between Patrick Mahomes. He also had his worst game, 45% completion percentage, 160 yards, no touchdowns, 2 picks. He's got 6 games of 4 touchdowns or more. He's got 5 300-yard plus games, and he has 1 multiple interception game, and he's got 3 good wins. Then we go to Patrick Mahomes. He's got more passing yards. He's got the better record. He's got his worst game was 51%, 340 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. He's got 3 4+ touchdown games. He's got 9 300-yard plus games and 2 400+ yard games, 1 multiple interception game, and 5 good wins. Folks, in the grand scheme of things, if we take everything into account and kind of weigh it as, a part of my algorithm of what I think determines more weight and what determines, less weight, Patrick Mahomes has 700 more yards. Yes, he doesn't have as many touchdowns or, has more interceptions, but he's still throwing 700 more yards. If you have Aaron Rodgers throw 700 more yards, yes, he's going to have more touchdowns. Will he have, probably 1 more interception? Most likely. So very kind of similar there if you kind of take it all over. And these 5 good wins, 14-1, we have to give the man credit. So I think this MVP case is a lot closer than people think, and I think I weigh it a little bit in Patrick Mahomes' favor, folks. Going into Week 17 will count. I don't care that both of these teams have, locked up the 1 seed. I don't care. I want to see y'all play. Give us, if Patrick Mahomes doesn't play and Aaron Rodgers does, then we start shifting to Aaron Rodgers playing 1 more game. I can get behind that. So I think right now, going into Week 17, Patrick Mahomes is the MVP. Alrighty, that's going to do it for us. And, we'll be back tomorrow. We'll break down Monday Night Football, and we'll do our cash and trash list and our power rankings going into the final week of the season, folks. So that should be good. Alrighty. This is going to do it for us. We'll be back tomorrow, folks. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for watching, and we'll see you.